Good afternoon, students. I hope you all are very well. And yesterday we have started our very first class of Geography GS in BPSC. So, students, I would like to know whether you have gone through your notes that we have taught yesterday, because I have on the very first day told you that it will be a bilateral activity. Means I will also perform on my part, and you too will have to contribute a active participation. Yes. So what we have gone through yesterday for means, to begin with, we have seen the general introduction of geography, what geography is about. Then we have seen about the Eratosthenes, Geographia, then how it has been divided into two dichotomies, physical geography and human geography, then again subdivided into various branches. Yes, after that we have started our very first topic, that means the geological structure and rock system of India. So indeed, we have seen what exactly is the geology means. Then we have seen what exactly is the geological formation, geological structure, we understood that. And most importantly, we have also dealt with what exactly is the relevance or the importance or the significance of this geological structure of India, or the study of geological structure of India, why it is necessary. So we have dealt with that also. And now yesterday at the end we have begun the geological time scale. So I will pick up today's class from that point. Am I right or not? कि आप भूल गए सारा? Just do revise at home. Geological time scale. Yes. So students, in order to understand the geological structure of India or the rock system of India, it's very necessary, it's very important to have a knowledge of geological time scale. Getting it? Because what exactly is it in simpler, we have seen definition yesterday. What is geological time scale? Geological time scale is nothing but it is the chronological dating. We have seen it that it's a chronological dating. Chronological dating. Here dating means not the dating that you perform. The dating means, oh, Sunny Deol wala dating, Tariq pe Tariq. Got it? So it is that dating. So chronological dating of what? The geological formation. Geological formation and the life. And we have seen, as far as life is concerned, it comprises both plants and animals, microorganisms, etc. It's part and parcel of it. So we have also seen what is yesterday's geological formation. We have seen that it is the assemblage of the rocks, AOR, of the similar characteristics. Then in accordance with, according to their time and place. Time and place of their origin, evolution and extinction. Yes, we have seen the definition like that. See, when you break the definition in this fashion that I have written, you can make such form in your notes also. Chronological dating, then second part is geological formation, important term is life, then according to their time and place with respect to the origin, evolution and their extinction. So if you can break up your definition in this pattern, or you write in the notes, then it becomes very important, memorable and catchy to the eyes. See, while don't make at the time use your rote memory, because you will use rote memory. How many parts? कितने इसका आप रट्टा लगाओगे? So this is the best way. If you divide the definition, see, chronological dating, geological formation, life, time and place, origin, evolution and extinction. If you keep these 4-5 keywords in your mind, you can frame what exactly is the geological time scale. Yes, this is the tips that you should learn. So after that, we have to see so geological time scale of India. So as far as geological time scale of India, I will show you the diagram. As far as in general, this geological time scale, it has been divided into the first importantly eon. It comprises, the largest portion is eon, then the second largest is era, followed by period and followed by epoch. So as far as econ, it is the see. I will simplify it in different way. You use a century or you use the term decade. Yes, if you say decade, I will say means decade means 10 years, then year, yes, then we divide it into the month and the days etc. So as we divide, decade means 10-year periods into year, year is then month is smaller than year, then a day is smaller than month. It is similarly in that fashion, the largest time duration is considered as an eon. Then the second largest distribution is it has been divided into eras. Eras has been divided into the different periods, and periods has been divided into the different epoch. I would like to show you the diagram of this geological time scale. See, eon, as far as eon is concerned, it comprises the Hadean, Archean, Proterozoic, Paleozoic, and then Phanerozoic. So these are the 4 eons. Eons are further divided into the eras, and eras into the periods, and epochs. It is simply like that. Then see how this geological time scale help us. So here is mentioned the millions of the years ago. Means exactly means we can say if it is a particular Hadean or also known as Precambrian age or the Cambrian age, exactly when it was in the past. Yes, we know about that. So there should be some numerical explanation for that. Means say about 100 years ago or 500 years ago or 1 million years ago or 2 million years ago. Then only you can correlate, yes, this is older and this is newer. So this is for the time, for the purpose it has been divided into the millions of years, and see here the millions are years are mentioned here. And the key events means what exactly happened. Means the earliest life was during this Precambrian stage. So my simpler question to you is that when the life evolved at the earth. Yes, when the life evolved. So for that purpose you need to do means understand that it is the life evolved from the very first, from the beginning of the formation of the crust. Later on that means if we can summarize it into the Precambrian ages. As means the life was began in the Precambrian itself in the seas, yes, in the form of amoeba and related organisms. Then later on when evolution takes place means then a large size aquarian animals, then for again that the reptiles, then again the after that the land animals, amphibians, reptiles, and land surviving animals. So this was the stage of evolution. Getting or not? First of all, life came into the seas in the form of amoeba and related organisms. Then it was evolved. Then when the oceanic organisms, they develop in the larger size. After that, the amphibians like tortoise. After that, the reptiles. Yes. After that, the land surviving organisms. So it was the sequence all that. So this explains this geological time scale. It helps us to understand when which organisms came to the earth. For example, the earliest life, it was in the Precambrian age. Then after that, invertebrates, then vertebrates, and all these and evolution of the man during the tertiary quaternary periods in that phase. Means after the tertiary in quaternary. Means so in this way this is the significance of geological time scale. So students, and important is that the Carboniferous, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, Permian, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous, etc. So this period we use this in our regular usage. Yes, we never give the reference of generally econ. We also give very little. There is no as such relevance of era in our significance. The more relevance is for us is that these periods means quaternary, tertiary, Cretaceous, Tri, Jura, Creta, Permian, Cosidicarpa, etc. So this part is important for us as a reference. So as far as this entire time scale is concerned, there will be no as such question specific upon this diagram or this time scale, but it is just for your understanding. That's why I added this figure to you. You got it? Means what is the relevance of it? We come to know means how many years back this particular phase was there. Means and what exactly happened when the evolution of the animal takes place or the development takes place, or what sort of rocks came, that we can study on the basis of this. Getting it? So this much is sufficient as far as the time scale is concerned. Now I will come back to the point. Just a minute. Oh, it's taking me time. Yes, we came to back to yes. So see, now we have to see about geological time scale of India. So as far as geological time scale of India is concerned, who has propounded of it? It has been propounded by Mr. Anybody knows? It is T.S. Holland. It is Mr. T.S. Holland. He has propounded the geological time scale of India, and it has been given in the Indian format that we study that as a Archean, Puranas, then Dravidians, and finally as a Aryans, etc. We will study it later on. So just keep in mind that as far as the geological time scale of India is concerned, it has been propounded by T.S. Holland. It was this scholar. So now, on the basis of this geological time scale, we have to see, and importantly, this geological time scale, some scholars describe it as a geological clock. It has been also described as geological clock, or it has been also considered as geological history of India. So as far as geological time scale of India is concerned, it is also called as geological clock of India or the geological history of India. So because it depicts us the entire history of India, means right since long back, since Precambrian age and before that also. So now as far as the geological structure of India is concerned, now we have to see this important point. I just explained the geological time scale just for your understanding, so that you should understand this geological structure of India. Yes. So now as far as geological structure of India is concerned, we can say that everybody knows that India is a country with a vast area. You know, the Indian landscape, the Indian country is widely spread. It's so vast. It means it extends from Himalaya up to the ocean, means that is the Indian Ocean, and from here Gujarat to the Arunachal Pradesh. So it has a very vast expansion. So, and importantly, second is that the important characteristic feature of geological structure of India is concerned, the different regions of India shows or finds the rock systems of different geological ages or geological period. Getting it? So as far as the geological structure of India is concerned, we can say that the different regions of India, means right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari here and from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, in these all different regions we can see the different types of the rock systems, various types of the rock systems throughout the set of the various age, with different geological periods. Means we have seen just geographical time scale. In this geographical time scale, we have seen that means some rocks are of the Precambrian age, early Cambrian age, late Precambrian age, then Cambrian age, then Carboniferous period. So in this way, so geological periods means in this sense, in that sequence you have to consider it. Yes. Then the another characteristic feature of our geological structure of India is that we can see the geological structure from the oldest to the newest geological structure. Means as far as India is concerned, we can see the oldest geological structure up to the latest geological structure. Getting it? Means this is the beauty of our Indian subcontinent, that means we are the member of this entire universe, that we can say since its inception, means जब से अर्थ बना है, since that our especially the Indian subcontinent, it is a part and parcel of this entire world system. Yes, right since that very first day of its origin, when the crust was originated, when the earth was evolved, and that is the reason why we can witness the Indian subcontinent, this landmass can experience the oldest geological structure and also to the newest geological structure. Means almost all means the rock systems or the geological structure of almost all eras, almost all period can witness in the Indian landmass. Getting it? So now importantly, after that we can proceed to the next point, that what exactly is the characteristic feature of the geological structure of India. So as far as the geological structure of India is concerned, the three important characteristics characteristic features. The important characteristic features of the geological history of India is you can say the geological history of India. So, as far as the geological history of India is concerned, there are the three landmark developments. Very, very important. Can you guess, please? Just imagine you have the basic knowledge of geography now. So, if you have read NCERT, you will have come to know that the very first important point is that the Indian Peninsular Plateau. This Indian Peninsular Plateau is the part of oldest landmass of the earth. Getting it? The very first important characteristic feature of this geological history of India is that the Indian Peninsular Plateau. What is Indian Peninsular Plateau? See. Isn't it that means this is the North India, this is South India, this entire Peninsular Plateau. This Peninsular Plateau of India, it is the part of old landmass of the earth. Means right since the very first day when the earth originated, when the crust of the earth formed, जब से earth की origin हुई थी, since that very beginning, this our Indian Peninsular Plateau, it is the part of the old landmass. Yes, this is the characteristic feature of it. Now, second important characteristic feature is that, yes, can remember what it may be. I will tell you. The upheaval of Himalaya or the rise of the Himalaya. This is the very, very characteristic feature of the geological history of India. Means characteristic feature means I just try to understand. Means what means such specific conspicuous development took place in the entire geological history of India. Means there are a number of such development that took place in the entire geological history of India. But the three landmark development, the three important characteristic features are, this is the Peninsular Plateau, it is the part of old Indian landmass. Secondly, the upheaval of the rise of Himalayas. When you will progress your studies in the geography, you will come to know that the Himalayas carries the greatest significance in the entire, not only in the Indian scenario, but into the scenario of the entire world. And that's why the rise or the upheaval of Himalaya is considered to be the very, very important landmark development of the geological history of India. The third point, what it can be, just guess it, keep your open mind. The third is the development of the Great Indian Plains. The Great Indian Plains, which is also called as Indo-Gangetic Plain. Getting it? What is the third point? The development of Great Indian Plains or the Indo-Gangetic Plains. Getting it? Then upheaval or the rise of Himalayas and the Indian Peninsula. Just keep these keywords in your mind. First, second and third, the Peninsula, Himalayas and the Gangetic Plains. So this is the characteristic feature of the development of geological history of the India is concerned. Now students, ultimately there would be in mind in your such question in your mind, how exactly this evolution of peninsula, means this peninsula, Himalayas and this Great Indian Plains took place. How the Himalaya rise, it must be in your mind. So I will just take you into the past so that you will get the answer of this question, because there must be the clarity in your mind and connectivity in all this entire sequence. So that's why just come into the back, into the initial phases of India, of our world. I will take you to the initial stages of the world, how our world was in the very, very initial, in the beginning stage. Just come to that point. So this is very interesting journey, students. You will love it. It's very, very interesting. So I will give you the idea. See, you have seen the atlas. In the atlas, you can see that presently there is the Asia, that is our own continent. then to the north there is Europe, then to the west there is Africa, then again we have the continents like North America, South America, Antarctica, Arctic. So these are the different continents. We can see them visible, their presence in the separate demarcations in localities. But now this is the fact of present day, but in the past, what has happened? These all land masses were comprised together. They were all land masses were part and parcel of a single land mass. Getting it? This, just students, understand, this is very interesting part that we are studying now. Just be attentive in the class. This is very interesting. Just go, let's go into the past of our Mother Earth. So, all these different continents, as we see them as us having demarcated separately, but these all in the past were the part and parcel of a single landmass, and that single landmass was known as a Pangaea. So the Pangaea. So what is Pangaea? Pangaea is nothing but it is the whole comprised of it. It is a single landmass. It's not a majestic landform that comprises the all present day continents. So that entire single landmass was called as a Pangaea. And this Pangaea, it was surrounded by, if this is a Pangaea, then it was surrounded by the water from all the sides. This Pangaea, this entire landmass, it was surrounded by the water from all the side, water body from all the side, and it was a huge majestic ocean, much larger than our present day largest ocean of the world, that means Pacific Ocean, and it was known as Panthalassa. Getting it? Are you getting this much idea? Means, as we see the different continents, North America, South America, Asia, Africa and Europe, all this separated, but previously they are clubbed together, and that entire single landmass was known as the Pangaea, which was surrounded by a huge ocean that is called as Panthalassa. Getting it? Now I will take you to the cliff of the same. See, this is Pangaea. You can see, can you see the different landmasses? No, it is a single landmass. It is called as a Pangaea. Most clear picture is here. See. So this was entirely the Pangaea before its division, and this you can see the Panthalassa Ocean. This Panthalassa was surrounding this Indian landmass, entirely the single landmass that is known as a Pangaea. So this was the structure of our original landmass. Then after this, what happened? Say during the Jurassic period. We have seen the time scale. I have shown you that this is the important line. So in that we could see the Jurassic, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous, Carboniferous, yes, Cambrian, Precambrian, Silurian, Synovician, Ordovician, etc. So it is a part of that. You just go through it again and you will get idea. So for here, just keep this point in mind that during the Jurassic period, this Pangaea the rifting took place in this Pangaea. What took place? Rifting. So what is rifting? As far as rifting is concerned, see, I will tell you. So exactly what happens rifting means there is some gap or there is some fracture into this is a land mass and there is fracture at two places. Then what will happen, which is also in geological sense or geographical sense, it is called as a fault. So during these two normal faults, the subduction takes place. Yes. So then this middle portion comes down. This is called as subduction. Yes, and because of that, what happened? This a graben is formed or rift valley is formed, like that. So this is what is called as rifting. What is rift is nothing but just breakdown or cracking. Just keep in mind when we will progress forward, we will discuss in what exactly this rifting is, what subduction is. So subduction is nothing but at two fractures, some middle portion subsides down, that is called as subduction, and because of the rift is formed, the rift valley is formed, that is rifting. So because of that rifting, and the reason behind this rifting is considered that because of the the gravitational forces of sun and moon, and it is also called as the force of buoyancy is important, has played important role in drifting or the breaking or of this entire Pangea. Yes, so this took place event in the Jurassic period. Later on, what happened in the Cretaceous period? During the Cretaceous period, good. Yeah, we wanted this point. So during Cretaceous period, during Cretaceous period, what happened? This entire landmass, that means Pangea, was divided into, got separated into the two land masses. Yes, the northern landmass was called as the Laurasia. It is also known as our Angara land. This is also known as Angara land, and the southern landmass was known as the Gondwana land. Yes, and this means what happened? The disruption of this Pangea took place. Disruption of Pangea, that means disruption. Disruption of Pangea is nothing but it is the breakdown of. What is disruption of Pangea? Disruption of Pangea is nothing but it is the breakdown of Pangea. We have seen that entire single landmass, it got divided into the two landmasses. The northern part was known as the Laurasia, which is also known as the Angara land, and the southern part is known as the Gondwana land. Yes, and when the two drifted apart, we know that it was surrounded by the Panthalassa, and the space after the drifting means उनके divide होने के बाद जो space बीच में रहा, that space was occupied by a water body, and that elongated water body, and this elongated water body is nothing but it is called as a Tethys Sea. Which sea? Tethys Sea. See, previously we have seen the whole single water body was called as a Panthalassa, but because of their disruption, the intervening space in between the Laurasia and Gondwana land, it got filled up with the water body which is called as a Tethys Sea. Getting it? And this process of disruption of Pangea is also known as opening of Tethys. Also known as opening of Tethys. See, this is just for your understanding. I want to make, these are the initial classes and I want to proceed with a better understanding. That's why I am explaining you everything. Yes, so this disruption of the Pangea is nothing but it is also called as the opening of Tethys. Yes, so this is the thing. So now the things are clear up to this development, means from Pangea, then we came to the two land masses, Laurasia and Gondwana land. Is it clear up to this point? Now see another story followed by this. It's very, very interesting again. I will break this. So now what happened after some time, that means around prior to 90 million years ago, 90 million years ago, what happened? This, now see, you can see your India here. See, I will tell you. Say this is a continent of Africa. So initially just understand, the land got divided into the Angara land or the Laurasia and Gondwana land, and as far as our India is concerned, Indian subcontinent is concerned, it is a part and parcel of this Gondwana land. And to be very specific, our India, this is our India. Yes, Indian subcontinent. This landmass is the Indian subcontinent, and it was attached to, and this is Madagascar. This is Africa. This entire land body is Africa, and this island that you can see, it is a Madagascar, and our Indian subcontinent, it was attached to this Madagascar. Means now what exactly is our present day? Just wait. So now what is our exactly the southwest coast, that means the southwest coast. The southwest coast, it was attached to this Madagascar, and as far as the southeast coast, that is the southeast coast of the present day India, it was attached to the Australia. This is Australia. So the southwestern part was attached to the Madagascar, while the southeastern part was attached to the Australia. So it was attached together. Though in this diagram it has been shown some drifting, but initially it was clubbed together. This was a single body, yes, means there was no water body in between them. This was Australia clubbed to the southeast part and southeast part to the Madagascar. Yes, so this was our Indian subcontinent before the 19 million years ago. But after, means at 19 years, but during 19 million years ago, what happened? This our Indian subcontinent, it start drifting apart, breaking away from this Madagascar. Means it got separated from this Madagascar, getting it, and it started drifting towards the eastward. See, it started drifting towards this place. Getting it? And what is here? Laurasia means here comprises the North America. Then you got entirely, this is Europe, Eurasian. I will better explain Eurasian landmass. This is the Eurasian landmass. Yes, means entirely the Europe. So this our Indian subcontinent before at 19 million years ago, it got drifted, separated away, break down from this Madagascar island, and it started shifting northward. Getting it? As per this arrow, we started drifting northward. We will see with the help of diagram. Yes. So you got up to this point? Yes. Now I will explain this with the help of another diagram. So we have seen the first point is clear that our Indian subcontinent from we have seen. See, again come back. So now the first point is clear. The important characteristic feature of our geological history of India. The first point was that the Indian peninsula. This is Indian peninsula. It was the part of the old landmass. Getting it or not? So we can see this Indian subcontinent, the Indian peninsula. This is Indian peninsula. It is a part of old landmass, isn't it? The first point is clear. Now the second point was the upheaval of the Himalayas, the rise of Himalayas. So now come to that point. Yes. So now we have to see the second point, that means the upheaval of the rise of Himalaya. So what happened means during 19 million years ago, it got drifted from the Madagascar and started shifting northward. See, the northward shifting towards the Eurasian landmass, it was not happened in a single day. Yes, it took place entirely the long period of time, means say around 50 million years ago. See this Eurasian landmass. So can you understand here? Can you see here? Yes, or I can explain you with the help of another diagram in a simpler one, so that to make your picture clear, more clear. Yes. So see, we can understand like this. If this is the African continent, I will draw a simple rough sketch. I will not go to that point. So see, understand. So as far as this portion is concerned, what is this? This is a Indian subcontinent. Yes, Indian peninsula. So what happened? And this was the Africa, and this is Madagascar. This is African continent, this is Madagascar. So 19 million years ago, this Indian subcontinent, it got separated from this Madagascar and it shifted northward. Yes, and see, this is the entire Eurasian landmass. So what happened means in a phase-wise manner, it got shifted toward the north. Means what is this? This is nothing but this is the Indian plate. Means this Indian plate, we call it as in a geological jargon or the geographical jargon, we call this as the Indian plate. Our entire landmass called as Indian plate. What is plate? As far as plate is concerned, we will see while we study the plate tectonic. So here the plate is nothing but it is these are solid rigid slab. There are solid and rigid slabs. Solid and rigid slabs of a thickness of around 100 km that comprises upper crust, the entire crust, and some portion of the upper mantle. Are it not? So plate are nothing but it comprises some portion. These are the solid and rigid slabs which comprises the some portion means entire crust as well as the some portion of the upper mantle means asthenosphere, and the thickness of these plates is around 100 kilometer. So this Indian plate, it got separated and it got attached to this Eurasian plate. Getting it? In the larger sense, these are the plates. We call these contents as a plates. Yes. So this is a smaller plate comparatively larger plate, and this happened means around 50 million years ago. It got collided with this Eurasian plate too. Eurasian plate. This Indian plate get collided with the Eurasian plate, and now after that we can see the present Indian landmass like this that we have. But earlier in the beginning, that means before 19 million years ago, the India was not here attached to this Eurasian landmass, but it was towards the very close to the Africa, attached to the Africa. Got it? So what happened exactly because of this? So when this Indian plate collided with this Eurasian landmass, it pushed that landmass, and because of the pushing, what happens? We have seen here was a Panthalassa. No, sorry, Tethys Sea. This was the Tethys Sea. Just try to understand. To the north of India, there was a Tethys Sea, and the remnant in India there is a remnant of Tethys Sea. What is it? It is in the Jammu and Kashmir. The name of that water body of the Tethys is a Tsangpo Lake. Old geography students, they know what is Tsangpo Lake, where it is. It is in the Ladakh region. But new students, again go through your India map and see where located the Tsangpo Lake. It is Tsangpo Lake. It is situated in the Ladakh region of India. This Tsangpo Lake, we are proud of it that our Tsangpo Lake, it is the remnant of the part of the old Tethys Sea. Yes, but because of what happens, this Indian plate, it get collided with the Eurasian plate. So this water body, it got disrupted. Yes, and this entirely Indian landmass get joined to the Eurasian landmass. But because of this joining and collision, the different Alps Himalaya was formed here. Because what happened? See, this is a long water body. Here is sediments. Just try to understand. As you will read again and again, then the concept will be clear. So when the sediment into the sea, sediment means what? क्या होता है? जो sand, silt, some boulders होते हैं, वो they converge together, and after converging they get folded upward and that form the mountain. So in Europe it formed the Alps mountain, then in the middle of your Southwest Asia they form the Caucasus mountain, and in the Himalaya it formed, means like here in India this place, not here at this place, and here it formed the Himalaya and the Tibetan plateau. So this development took place because of the northward shifting or the collision of this Indian plate with the Eurasian plate. Getting it? It was this way that Himalaya came into origin. In detail, we can see with how the Himalaya formation took place later on. Just keep this much point in your mind just for basic glimpse. So this was in this way the Himalayas were formed. And the third feature we have seen that the Indo-Gangetic Plain formation. So in how the Indo-Gangetic Plain formation means the Himalayas were newly formed, and these rivers started pouring water from Himalayas and started depositing into this a ridge was formed in the front of Himalayas. So उस ridge में क्या हुआ कि ये जो सारा sediment था वो डिपॉजिट होते गया और उसकी वजह से क्या हुआ कि जो आज अपना जो प्लेन इंडो-गैंगेटिक प्लेन है, सिंस राजस्थान, पंजाब एंड टू योर यूपी एंड बिहार एंटायरली, ये जो इंडियन प्लेन्स है वो फॉर्म हुए थे. सो this is how these three important features are considered to be the characteristic features of our Indian geological history. So students, I have tried to explain you in as simpler manner as I could. So what you can do, you just go to the home, at home you can read twice and thrice what I have told. Just understand these diagrams. You can read the text also, and if you have any query you need further explanation, we can explain it again also. Yeah, it's not as much difficult one. It's very easier task to understand. Yes, just give some time with geography, spend some time with geography, you will come to know how beautiful the subject is. So this is how students we have explained the important characteristic features of geological structure of India. Now we are coming to the next point, that is the rock structure, that we deal in our next class.